An ugly embarrassment for Luke's Birds. Some other Week 14 action, and the Giants still in play. Let's get into it.
What's up, my family? Listen, first-time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Slap.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
What is up, everybody? Rivals back every Monday, 10:30. We got Eagles action. We got Giants action. Sixers, Knicks. We got it all. As always, we are brought to you by Gleason's Bar and Grill. Gleason's Bar is located at 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, Pennsylvania. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online. That's Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com. And without further ado, with our first topic, we got our first poll question. It's times for Eagles fans to panic. I think we had a very similar question last week, and I erred more on the side of caution and said, no, it's not. You know, you got a week to prepare against a division foe, and let's see how they fare. And sure enough, they did not fare very well. If you're going to go into a division game and you're going to try and not score a point on offense, it's not going to happen. And sure, you had 2 Jake Elliott field goals. Your only touchdown of the game was Jalen Carter on a scoop and score. And let me tell you, Dak Prescott fleeced you guys. I mean, he was dotting up the corners, dotting up the safeties left and right. I honestly it was a little surprising. You know, I thought 100% they were going to it was going to be a close game like the last one. I mean, the last one, it was a 5-point game, but the Cowboys had the ball last and, you know, weren't able to come up clutch in the end. And you want to put Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversation, he's got to start showing up. And the last 2 weeks, he hasn't shown up. And sure, you can get it to, oh, it's the play calling, it's this, it's that. You can point fingers everywhere when you're losing games. But in the end of it, there's a root of a problem, and there's a lot of problems for this team right now because you just went into these past 2 games with a 10-1 record and got blown out in both of them. And one of them was at home to the 2nd seed, and then one of them was on the road to division rival, who's the 5th seed, who you're now fighting for a division lead, the 1 seed. Who knows what the hell can happen? I mean, there's a lot that can go on in these next couple of weeks. Dak Prescott, with the way he's playing right now, who says he can't win this division of the NFC? I mean, who says Brock Purdy can't win it? Sure, Brock Purdy, I'm getting a little sidetracked now, but Brock Purdy, I don't understand the MVP conversation. It's McCaffrey. I think many quarterbacks could do it with the system he has. However, I'm not going to give him any less credit because he has been balling out. But, I mean, it's getting a little worrisome for you Eagles fans. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to have to agree with the poll.
Yeah, I think panic is a little strong of a word. To me, panic is saying that we have no shot and we should pretty much just cancel everything and adjust expectation. To me, is panic. More than anything, is adjusting our expectation in terms of, you know, this team can no longer win a Super Bowl. I disagree with the poll. I don't think it's time to panic because my expectation remains the same. And it's crazy to say that. It's absurd. I understand that. At the same time, we control our own destiny. And the best thing we did to ourselves outside of the Jets game was not pull what Dallas did and lose a game like at Arizona or another kind of game like that and leave us a little bit behind. We can still set ourselves up to be the 2nd seed in the conference. If all things go well and we win the games we should win. Now, obviously, it's a little bit harder to say now going into this game as it was last week. But I'll tell you this. I think a lot of people's problems, and now I'll get into the blame and sort of the panic, I guess you could say, even though I'm not panicked. I'll tell you that I think a lot of people in the fan base are directing their attention towards the defensive side of the ball. My thing is that our secondary has been bad all year. We've always found ways to win games. That's always been the thing. The new aspect of it now is we're not able to put up points. And those plays and those moments that we made along those runs where we were winning close games, we're not making them now. And people call us frauds. People call it luck. I don't think it's that at all. I think we went up against teams that really weren't as good as us. I think that's simply what it is. And I think we faced two teams the last 2 weeks that are. And if you give us home field, maybe not a 1 seed going to San Francisco 100% is going to be a tough game to win. But I don't care if it's Dallas at home, Detroit at home, Green Bay at home. I don't care who it is at home. I expect us to win that game in the playoffs. I just do. We beat Dallas at home. I don't care. It seems like people forgot that a few weeks ago. I don't care how old it was. We beat them. And panic's a strong word. I think the offensive side of the ball, the play calling has been horrendous. And for him to be kind of put up there with guys in a head coaching stint for this next cycle, I think is an absolute disgrace. All they did to us yesterday that caused problems is like third and medium, third and short, third and long. They brought pressure. We had no adjustment whatsoever towards pressure. That goes to our quarterback, and that mainly goes, in my opinion, to our offensive coordinator. And here's the other thing, and I get it, you're losing in a game, and that kind of adjusts the way you want to play, the play call and things like that. There's no excuse for DeAndre Swift to get the amount of touches he's getting, because it seems like in every game we've won, in every ugly game we've won, he's had the big moment. He's had the big catch. He's had the big run, whatever it was. And we just have not gotten him the opportunity to get the ball enough in these games. It's a joke. And the other thing about it in terms of coaching, I'll say this is, and I don't think this gets enough attention, Sirianni's pulling this stuff, and I'm not saying we should fire Sirianni or anything like that. I'm not going to go overboard like that. But I will tell you that I don't know if the message he's putting forth in team meetings throughout the week is the right one. It's seeming like he's putting out there, we're the underdog mentality team. No one's, respecting us. We're getting disrespected. Take it personal. Take all this shit personal. Go out there and want to kill somebody kind of mentality. That is not hitting home. And I see it mainly with our best player on our team, A.J. Brown, he seems to go up and just want to – he's not playing the game. It seems like he's playing against the guy who's covering him, and then he gets all, fucked up by Stephon Gilmore last night, and he's all in his face. That message is not getting through. It's just not. And that message got through to the team in 2017, that underdog, disrespected mentality. That's fine, and they won a Super Bowl. You can do that. But if it's not getting home, which it's clearly not with this group, I think it's time we move on from this underdog thing, from this you're being disrespected thing, take it personal thing. That we got to move on because it's not going home. I'm tired of 15-yard penalties. I'm tired of A.J. Brown looking distracted from the game, going up against Stephon Gilmore, fumbling balls, uncharacteristic turnovers. I'm tired of it. Let's move on. Let's play simple football. Let's go back to being one of the, well-disciplined teams in the league. And I get it when you get blown out 2 weeks in a row. That seems like a small detail. I don't think it is, because you lost the turnover battle yesterday, and offensively you were a disgrace because your two wideouts for the first time as long as they've been paired together seemed totally uninterested in winning the game rather than proving a point and, just looking to kill their opponent. Like, I'm not trying to – that's not how you win games. It's not how we've won all year. And, now I think that it's taken that mentality. I think it's been worse for us. So I'm not panicked. I still think this team is a top 3 to, easily 3 to 5 team in the league. I think we should win a Super Bowl. So I'm not panicking and adjusting expectation. But I will tell you is that I'm definitely 100% way less confident now than I was 2 weeks ago. I think that's a fair statement to make.
No, that's very fair. And the thing is, it's not like, I guess panic is like a little overreaction. I guess it's more so worry than panic because they're two totally different things. I guess my definition was worried, but I guess I'm overshooting it and saying you should panic. But you got a lot of games to get back on the track. You got 2 games against the Giants. You got 1 game against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then
Seattle
Seattle
on the road.
as well.
That's a tough game.
It's a very tough game with the way they're playing right now. That's definitely not a W that you can chalk in the books, especially the way they've been playing these
That's
past
a tough
2
game.
games.
Monday
And
night.
you brought up a good point. Your receivers looked like just they want to get in fights with these dudes, and it's like, dude, play the game of football. Smitty got rocked a couple of times and just got back up and didn't look as good. AJ, like you mentioned, with the fumble, Hurts. Just it's hard when your quarterback is not producing, and will he get it back? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Because at this point, it's now 2 weeks in a row, and there's got to be adjustments made. Maybe you got to throw the underneath routes. Maybe you got to start ground and pounding it more. I mean, when Jalen gets an open field, I don't like the way he looks, and that might be an outsider's perspective.
I think you're on point with that one, but I think the main point you made, that's like the biggest point in the whole thing, is it's to do with play calling. They have to run the ball more.
Yeah.
What made them so good last year was that they were always a threat to give you 4 yards on the ground on any given play.
Oh, yeah.
That was the threat more than – I love Jalen. He was great, and we argued about ranking him wherever the hell he was ranked all year. And, he's a quarterback of the future, a great leader, all these things. I love him. Same time, a lot of his success had to do with the fact that defenses – went into every play saying, we could give up 4 yards on the ground right here, 6 yards, 4 yards, 7 yards, whatever it might be. And I'm watching the game, and obviously I'm pissed off that Dallas goes right down the field and scores a touchdown 100%. Or, defense looks like Swiss cheese, like all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was really looking forward to more than anything was going up in that offensive drive when we get the ball first and saying, what are we going to do? Because the last few weeks it's been, we're going to throw the ball 3 times on our first possession, and that's how we go down. We hand the ball off to Swift for like probably a 4 to 6 yard gain, something like that. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're going to keep up with these guys because we're going to run the ball. This is it. And then they just revert away from it. And I get it. It's great, getting the quarterback involved in the running game. That's awesome. At the same time, what has Swift done for you all year? We talk about the big play, the big moment. It's seeming to be like he was that guy in those moments, like most of the time. And we're revering away from him. For what reason? I don't understand. That to me is the biggest problem. And it doesn't have to be in the run game. We can get him involved in the screen game. He had no receptions last night to my memory, and that's unacceptable. They have to commit to running the ball. They have to. And a lot of times it's an easy thing to say as a fan when, the offense is stalling. You hear it in Philly more than anywhere else, run the ball. And a lot of times I think coaches get a little too much heat. This time I'm on the side of the fan base. We have to run the ball. It opens up everything. And it opens up getting guys in space. That's another thing that we do more last year more than anything. And Jalen and Sirianni did, and Steichen did last year at offensive coordinator. Getting guys like Goddard in space, AJ in space, all these guys in space. They don't get the ball in space anymore. It's seeming to be, if it's not a Jalen Hurts, quarterback draw play, if it's not that, then it's got to be a 50-50 ball rather than, okay, let's give it to our guy in the middle of the field wide open with 5 yards of space around him. It's not like that anymore. And for you guys that want Zach Ertz here, I'm down. Cool. That's great. He ain't fixing that problem. So they need to find ways to get guys in space. It sounds simple, but that's really what it is. It is simple. They got to get guys in space, and that starts with running the ball. You have to run the ball.
Yeah, I just don't understand how they're throwing these 50-50 balls, and it's like you got guys that are you got 2 top 10 receivers and a top 10 tight end. How are these guys not generating space? You got a top 10 running back. These guys got to generate space somehow, some way.
Yeah, have to, 100%. It's a joke, and we could talk about defensive side of the ball. I will real quick. I'll just say it's a pressure thing. Last year the main difference was you can look at last year. We had guys go up against us quarterbacks and throw for all kinds of yards. The difference was that we let it happen, but we got to you. We're not doing that. And I don't see how there's any excuse for that when you have Fletcher Cox, you have Milton Williams is having a great year, Jordan Davis is having a good year. when you have Sweat and Reddick and all these guys, and you have the defensive rookie of the year on your team, and he doesn't even start. The fact that you can't get to the quarterback is very concerning. I don't fully understand it. But from a play calling perspective on that side of the ball, you have to be more aggressive. You have to. That's what it comes down to. You're making guys like Prescott's job so much easier. And, he played great. I'm not taking anything away from Dak at all. He is the MVP favorite right now. He should be. But you made his job, and that's not even just him, but that's every quarterback we've gone up against in the last few weeks, really all year. You've made their job so easy. You have. I look at the Kansas City game where we come back in the fourth quarter. We come back in that game. In that second half, we shut them out. They were generating pressure by sending an extra guy. Why are we not doing that anymore? It makes no sense to me. Desai's getting a lot of heat right now, as he should. And I see a comment right now. Oh, he missed a field goal in the Giants game. I see a comment right now about Shaq Leonard. Love the signing. He's probably better than anyone we have right now in the linebacker room. That's great. He's not solving these problems either. We got to get to the quarterback. We have to. I love the signing. It's great. But at the same time, he's not what he was. He's the best guy we have in that room right now, but that ain't saying a lot at all. So I guess we shall see, what adjustments come. I hope there are adjustments, especially on that side of the ball, because to me, they're a whole lot easier. They're easy on both sides. Run the ball and send a fifth man because we can't get home to the quarterback. They're having all day to throw the ball on our defense, and we're giving no threat whatsoever to run the ball right now. It's a joke.
Yeah. Enough of that. Let's cut to a commercial break with Royal Billiards. We'll be right back.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom-reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
What is up? So just debrief the Eagles-Cowboys, lost a little bit. Now we'll get more so into the broader NFL with Week 14 just surpassing us. Thursday night, very ugly game. We had the Steelers against the Patriots, and I believe the Patriots got it done.
Yeah, they did. They did. They smacked them around. It wasn't really all that close either.
No, it wasn't. They had control throughout the whole game. Even though the score didn't say so, just winning the game 21-18. Defensive battle, but I mean, why are the Patriots winning? Zeke resurgence game, maybe. Who knows? Probably not. That fat fuck should not be playing football. Start off Sunday, we had Saints and Panthers. Saints dominant in the NFC South division. We had the Ravens against the.
By the way, quick 2-second
No,
thing.
you're fine.
Carolina, what a disgrace you are. You're the biggest disgrace in sport in the NFL right now. Not even close. You're 1-12 now. You have no sign of anything. You drafted your quarterback who
with
looks
the first
like,
overall pick,
albeit on a horrible team. He looks like shit, and he doesn't look great either. You give him no supporting cast whatsoever besides signing Miles Sanders to a big-time deal. You fire your coach who's coaching horrible players, horrible personnel, everything around them in half the season. I mean, what a joke. You are a disgrace. And you don't have your first-round pick next year, so I don't really see where you go from here. Who the hell's accepting that coaching job? I don't care how much money you throw at him. I mean, what a joke. It does not look good in Carolina right now. It does not look good in Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh. And then after that, we had the Ravens and the Rams in a great game. Rams came back, kicked a field goal in that last drive, and then just losing in upsetting fashion. Tylan Wallace, the backup punt returner for the Ravens, not even Devin Duvernay, very elusive return specialist, wasn't even out there, and they still got the punt return. Great ending to a great powerhouse matchup. We had the Colts get manhandled by the Bengals. The Bengals possibly back. I think that's maybe now 3 games with 30+ in a row. Could Jake Browning be the guy? I don't think so. I don't have much confidence in him, but who knows? The Browns in surprising fashion over the Jaguars, and we'll take a quick moment to talk about this. Why are you moving Joe Flacco to the practice squad after he just won you 2 games? And you're going to start Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who you drafted to be a backup. Tell me that. Tell me how that makes any sense.
Don't understand it.
I just don't understand it. If you want to win games, you're in a very competitive division in the AFC North. You got teams like the Ravens. The Steelers, I believe, are 7-7. They still got 7 wins.
Yeah.
You got the Bengals now making a comeback. What are you doing there? I don't understand it.
Yeah, don't get it.
The Lions getting pretty manhandled by the Bears. Again, the Bears, why are they winning games? I don't understand. Like these bottom 3 teams, like the Panthers. Panthers lost, but the Patriots and the Bears, why are we winning games?
I'm about to drop a hot take here that might get a little steamy, and it's not. I've had this take even when they've won games. I'm not just saying this now because they've dropped 2 ugly games and they haven't looked as good lately. I think we should I've always questioned it. Dan Campbell is a great leader. He's a fantastic culture setter, and I think he was a great hire because he really got a lot of guys there, and he rebuilt a culture that seemed to be impossible to build anything in Detroit forever. I'm going to say this, though. There's so many times where I watch games and close games, and especially close games. I don't understand his mindset. I don't do it. And, he goes for it so much, and he just has so many mental mistakes, mental breakdowns, whether it be going for it when he shouldn't, taking a punt when he shouldn't, calling a timeout or not calling a timeout when he should or he shouldn't. It just doesn't look good from him. I'm not a big Dan Campbell guy. I'm not saying they should fire him, but what I am saying is that if your goal is to eventually win a Super Bowl, you have to go and win tough games in tough environments. You have to go to Philly and beat Philly. You have to go to San Francisco and beat San Francisco. You have to go to Seattle and Dallas and places like that and win close games against big teams that have been there a million times. I don't know he's the guy for that long term. I don't know. I've said that for a while, and I'll keep saying it. And I have no reason to hate the guy. I don't. I just don't know if he's their guy moving forward that's going to make those big-time calls and decisions in those big games, because I feel like they went for it on 4th and 5 and longer in that Bears game like 40 times, and it ended up being like a pretty up in the air game at the end, a game they could have had, and they wasted 4 possessions just going for it on 4th down. Like I don't know.
And going off of that with the Lions, when we did our preseason rankings, I had Jared Goff as a top 10 quarterback, and I defended it after they were off to their hot start, and he just has looked awful ever since. And there were arguments that he should get paid this offseason. He is not the answer in Detroit.
I don't think he's holding him back, but I think if they went out and got an improvement, they could take a leap to become potentially a favorite in the conference and the Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Like a legit Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. Moving on, you had another NFC South interdivisional matchup with the Buccaneers knocking off the Falcons. With the Falcons now, Falcons, Buccaneers, and Saints all tied. You had the Texans getting absolutely manhandled by the Jets. Stroud went down for a little bit. I don't know if he ever returned. And Nico Collins went down too. Sucks to see so many just people going down for the Texans. Also went into the game without Dalton Schultz. So very ugly. Wasn't very much of a contest between the 2 teams. And then to start off our 4 o'clock games, you had the Seahawks against the Niners, with the Niners taking care of business, winning that game 28-16. You had the Vikings Raiders, field goal kicked with 2 minutes left in that game. I mean, what an ugly game. 2 quarterbacks that are just absolute jokes, absolute laughing classes. I don't know who jumped on the Josh Dobbs train, but you better get off soon. because it is.
And he's been on like a practice squads and everywhere like the last however many years, and now he had a few good games on a really shitty team. I mean, someone's got to throw the ball and score touchdowns. I don't care how bad your team is around you, so he looked okay. But are they even starting him next week? I don't think that's come out yet. I don't know. I think they'll probably go with him, though. We'll see what they do starting quarterback next week for the Vikings. I don't know. We'll see.
I think they'll stay in-house and stick with Jaron Hall or Nick Mullins, but who knows? Maybe they could go out and sign a guy like Newton. Or
Joe Flacco's out there for someone to grab.
Joe Flacco is out there. Maybe they could grab him off Cleveland's practice squad. But moving on, Bills, Chiefs. Bills getting it done. Patrick Mahomes, you're a crybaby, dude. It was clearly offsides on Kadarius Toney, and you can't point. The only finger that can be pointed is at Kadarius Toney because the receiver's goal is to check that they're onside with the line judge, and the line judge is to say, "Yup, you're good," or "No, you're not." So not your fault. Don't know why you're making a scene about it, especially at the midfield handshake with Josh Allen, dude. Grow up. Grow up.
My thing with that whole thing, I'm not even on some hater stuff, but like this happens and it's a big controversial thing, and it doesn't get called too much. He's offsides, whatever. First of all, he's offsides. So stop complaining about that. He was offsides. I don't want to hear from Andy Reid. I don't want to hear from Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to hear from the official. I don't want to hear from it. How have we not heard from Kadarius Toney? Like, how have we not heard from him about this? He's the only one that we should be hearing from about this whole thing because he lined up offsides. Like, take accountability for the fact that you screwed your team. It's not the first time he's done it all season, too. The Detroit game, he blew that one, too, in the first game of the season. He's just not having a great year.
3 drops? Yeah.
Yeah, so not good. He's not having a great year.
The only game he went off then is seems to be the only game he went off is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I like, how are we not hearing from Kadarius Toney? We're hearing from all these other guys. Is a joke. I don't really understand that one. So yeah, I guess we'll move on there, but I don't fully understand that at all.
Yeah, the Chargers continue to seem to want to lose. Losing in ugly fashion against the Broncos 24-7, and then we already touched on last night's massacre, and then right now we got 2 Monday night games, very surprising. Right now you got the Titans and the Dolphins surprisingly tied, and then the Giants with an 8-point lead with just over 5 minutes to go against the Packers. We'll see how these games end. A lot of wild. Wow, what a play by Tay Banks.
Wow,
a lot of wild card catastrophe in the NFL right now. I mean, you got a lot of teams in the hunt. A lot of teams wanting these last 3 spots, and it's going to be who goes and gets it right now. I mean, you got the
this is a big one for the Packers right now. They got to win this game.
Big game for the Packers, and I mean, hey, big game for the Giants, dude. You put them in the hunt. I'm not going to count them out.
The only reason I'll count them out, and if they go on to win this game, and I get it, we've looked like shit, but you do not want to play us 2 times, especially now that it looks like we're going to need both the games moving forward.
No. So I want to be in the hunt. I want to be in it to win it.
I get it, but
once you get to the dance, anything is possible.
Not sure you have much of a chance because we need those games, and I get it. We've looked like shit the last 2 weeks, but I think if we lost to the Giants, I think there would be a fire sale in Philadelphia for a little while.
Yeah, and then the AFC, you still got the Colts holding on to their spot with the Texans, the Broncos, the Bengals, the Bills, all tied right behind them. So it's going to be interesting in these next 4 weeks. And I mean, who knows? With the NFC, you got the Packers, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Falcons, the Saints, all tied at 6 and 7. So everybody's fighting for that last spot in both the AFC and NFC. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My Nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing our love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
All right, so we got some NBA news. Congratulations, LeBron James. You won the NBA Cup. I mean, if there couldn't be anything more scripted, I don't know what could have been. I didn't think there was a chance the Pacers were gonna get that game done in Vegas. Shout out to them. They're beating the Bucks, and I forget who they beat in the first
Boston.
round.
They beat Boston.
Beat Boston and the Bucks, and obviously weren't victorious in the championship, but a great run. Tyrese Halliburton putting himself in the MVP conversation right now. Very surprising. Going off of that MVP conversation, and be with a masterclass. Sixers in general, a masterclass. I believe it was a 40-point win.
45-point win.
45-point win. Just manhandling the Wizards, and I'm not saying you shouldn't manhandle the Wizards with a top 3 seed in the East, but just a joke of a game.
Saquon, yeah, joke of a game. Wizards are like a G League team. Honestly, embarrassing. Jordan Poole, he's under contract for a whole lot more time. He's gonna make a lot of money, so I guess it's like doesn't really matter for him anymore. He got a ring. He's getting to the point where he's like one of those guys that seems like uncoachable and might find his way out of the league, not because he's not good enough, or just like, I don't know. I feel like I see something online every single day on Twitter or something about just him being like unengaged. And
no, he doesn't look like it. I mean, he's out there just to, I feel like, hook up threes.
Yeah, but if you want to cause problems on a good team, then don't act miserable when you get your wish, and the only team willing to trade for you is a team that's, looking to be at the top of the lottery every year.
Go.
So here goes Saquon. Oh, breaking a tackle. Crib falls down around. Oh, man, did he fumble that ball?
No.
Nah, the ground definitely caused that. We're going to let it ride, though. That should come back, I believe. Get him on the floor. Get him on the ground.
He's out. Step out of bounds.
I think that'll come back. But, yeah, Wizards are a G League team. Absolute disgrace. Yeah.
The only guy I feel bad for there, Kyle Kuzma. I mean, he just tries to perform. He shows up every day, and there's just nobody around him, and it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Yeah,
down by a mile. Okay.
Yeah. But leading the East right now, you have the Celtics. Leading the East with a record of 16-5. Magic in second right now with a record of 16-7, and they're definitely very surprising. And we both had them in our NBA playoff picture going into this year. A lot of young, well-rounded talent in Paolo. You got Franz Wagner. You got Jalen Suggs. You got Mark Hill.
Yeah.
They're a very young and talented team. But to be a 2 seed right now, and we're not overreacting. It's been 23 games. You can't overreact. But to start off this high, I mean, nobody saw it coming.
Yeah, for them to take the next step, they just need one of those current guys like Paolo or Franz Wagner or whoever it might be to just really take the next step, become a superstar or like a solidified, bona fide all-star. Once that happens, I mean, then who knows? Maybe you talk about them being a legit top 3 team in the East. But yeah, right now it seems, outside of that, it seems around about what we expected with Boston and Milwaukee being the top 2 teams, and then in the West.
Bro, there's no way they called that a fumble.
No, they didn't. Are you serious? Wow, that was a brutal call. I don't get that at all.
I mean, I guess the ball was moving, but I don't understand.
I don't see that at all.
That was unforced by contact. Just an ugly call and an ugly
God
turnaround for the Giants. They'll probably lose this game in ugly fashion, like
dude,
always.
That is a horrendous call.
Moving on, you have the Bucks at the 3 spot, tied with the Sixers right now. As stated earlier, the Pacers, they're off to a terrific tear with the 13-8. Tyrese Halliburton looks really good. Cavs at 6, and then in your 7, 8, 9, 10, you got the Knicks, Brooklyn, Heat, and Hawks. Only surprise, I guess, out of the playoffs picture right now is the Raptors. 9-13, not off to a great start. And then in the West, you have the T-Wolves losing tonight, dropped to 17-5. OKC moving up to 15-7 with Dallas trailing right behind them, Denver right behind them, Lakers, Kings, and then Phoenix, the Rockets, the Clippers, and the Pelicans also in the playoff picture. Golden State not in the playoff picture right now. Very big surprise for many. But it's very early and there's not much reactions to make about the NBA. Now we're going to get into maybe some Sixers trade ideas. They got two stars in Maxey and Embiid, obviously. Maxey finally getting the opportunity to be that number one point guard, to be that number two option. And, I mean, there's not many trades you could make. You could look into you could look into a shooting guard. Mellon hasn't proved owned up to too many expectations that the Sixers have had, I will say. But you could also look to add a bench piece. And there's a lot of wing depth on this team. A lot of guys that can come off the bench, but not really a spark plug, in my opinion. You got guys like Robert Covington, like Pat Beverly, like Marcus Morris, like Paul Reed. Sure, these guys can give you points. They can give you points off the bench. They can give you minutes off the bench. But there's no true spark plug. I mean,
now that Oubre's on the bench, he's been kind of given.
That's fair.
He's been seeming every time he steps on the court. If you're coming off the bench and put up an efficient 12 to 13 a night, which is what he's done ever since he's come back, I'm cool with that. To me, when you look at a trade, my main point is we cannot even consider the Zach Lavine thing. That cannot happen. He puts up empty stats, in my opinion, on a team that needs somebody to score the ball. Not saying he's a bad player, but I don't think he's the answer for us. We did this not too long ago when we traded for Tobias Harris, who put up, people forget, he also averaged 20 points a game on a team around that 8th, 9th seed, that Clippers team that ended up playing the Warriors around one of the playoffs all those years ago. That's pretty much doing the same thing, and now people don't like him here either. So I'm not trading for another guy who puts up 20 points on a team that's all that good and now is requesting for a trade. I'm good. To me, the attention has to be on two guys, and they're on the same team. And it's looking like they might blow it up because they should. They're in that middle of the pack area right now where you don't want to be. You're not good enough to get, great home court advantage and make a deep playoff run, and you're also not bad enough to lose enough games to have a great draft pick. That's the Toronto Raptors. The star that I want, the all-star that I would want out of anybody right now is Pascal Siakam. He gives us something that we aren't lacking but aren't in all that great at right now, is rebounding. He'll give us that. He gives us another wing defender, which is what we need more than anything. He can play off the ball too. He's capable of making threes, and you can give him his own lineup where he can go and average, 18 points a night. That's great. That's, to me, the guy that we should go out and get in terms of an all-star. But I'm not saying we need to go get him, and he's the piece that we need to give us a ring. The other guy that I really like is the guy on his team, OG Anunoby, will cost you less and kind of fits that off-the-ball role. And, I like that piece a whole lot for us as well. So give me those two guys, one of the two guys, and I think that we move forward in a positive direction. But I think that this is the deepest team. We're going to get 2 feet in. He's out of bounds. Yeah. All right, so I think that this is the deepest team we've had in the Embiid era. Now, does that mean we're going to make it past the second round? Definitely not. I'm not saying that. But what I do see now is I don't really see slip-off where most teams that he's played on, him coming out of a game or his secondary star coming out of a game, and it just seems like the play is just horrendous. You get guys like Furkan Korkmaz in games. You get, bad runs of,
they're going empty.
You get bad runs of other bench guys coming in games, and it just slips. It seems like everyone knows their role. Oh, that's a screenplay. You can't do that. How are they not throwing a flag? Yeah, it just seems like there's just an elevation off the bench now, which we get in guys like Pat Bev, Kelly Oubre, and these guys. So I'll take that all day long. But yeah, I think that we are a Pascal Siakam away from seeing the improvement of Tyrese Maxey, and Embiid still a top 3 MVP candidate in the league without question. To me, those two things, if you give me Pascal Siakam, I might be a hot take right now, but I'll say it. If you give me Pascal Siakam, I give us right there 100% with Boston and Milwaukee. If Pascal Siakam joins the likes of Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and a stable bench, which we have right now, I think that 100% I'll fall for the bait. And with a good coach and Nick Nurse, I'll fall for the bait of we are right up there with the top 2 teams in the East. So if they make that move, then albeit, then I think, we have different discussion in terms of where we stand, getting past the second round, making a run at an NBA title. But yeah, that's my 2 cents there for sure.
Now, the thing is, if you do trade for Pascal Siakam, who are the guys you're giving up?
Well, you give up the draft picks that you just got in Harden trade. You're basically just sending those away, all the picks and all the swaps and shit. You give all that away, and that's valuable, especially to a team that's, not really looking to win in the time being. And then I guess for a salary fill, you got to give up Tobias Harris. But I look at it as I don't really know if there's a role for him on a team with those 3 guys. And I'm not shitting on Tobias. I think he's had a pretty good year. He's kind of slipped off lately. Here goes Jordan Love for the game. Oh, my goodness.
What a play.
Did he get that? What are they ruling it? We got no volume. I don't know. But, yeah, if you trade away –
what a play.
Oh, wow, they incomplete. They're going to review that shit, though. Yeah, if you go ahead and trade for Pascal Siakam and you trade away Tobias Harris, to me, you would have to give up maybe a guy like Springer who hasn't cracked the rotation as of late. Maybe you have to give up those draft picks for sure, and maybe another young guy like a KJ Martin or something like that. I think that's 100% worth it in my eyes. And, that's what gets you over the hump. And I don't know. I think, they're not even going to review this shit.
Wow.
It looked pretty. Yeah, they're going to review it. It looked very close on the replay.
Yeah. No, you bring up a good point in I do think that Pascal Siakam could be a very good fit. It's just he's very ball dependent in that offense right now.
Well, that's just the offense he's in right now. To me, if you go to Pascal Siakam, a guy who's able to score the ball and also able to catch and shoot, does he tuck though? No, I don't think he does. I think it's incomplete pass. But my thing is he can play off the ball. If you go to him and give him a role, especially going back with his old coach Nick Nurse, and just say, we need you to defend the other team's best player and solidify yourself in that role, rebound the basketball, and make me a few open threes. And also, when Embiid's off the court, if you have a 1-2 punch of Tyrese Maxey and Pascal Siakam, I don't know if there's a better third option in the NBA than that right now. So I'm going to go with Pascal Siakam for sure as the guy that I want.
Before we get into our shout-out of the week, we're going to take our final commercial break, so we'll be right back after this.
Hats.com is the premier destination for quality and fashion-forward hats and more, with designs for every style and trend. Locally based and run by Philly sports team fanatics, Hats.com can help you elevate your hat John. Utilize the easy-to-use guides at Hats.com to find your perfect size and style, and shipping and returns are free. Hats.com. Find yourself in a hat. Use code Philly for 15% off your order. Hats.com.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
We are back after some technical difficulties. We got our shout out of the week. I don't know if he crossed the line.
I think it's very close. Oh, oof. Wow. It's
going to take a while.
They called it a touchdown.
Call it a touchdown on the field. I don't think you could. There's much conclusive evidence to overturn it. And then the Dolphins taking a 2-touchdown lead in at home in Miami. So our shout out of the week, mine was actually going to be dependent on this game, but I'll stick with it regardless. My shout out of the week is going to be Tommy DeVito, and I wasn't a big fan of it after the first week against the Redskins, the Commanders. Sorry, but he's been showing up, and if they don't call this a touchdown, well, they did call it a touchdown. So he's now got to march down the field, possibly get a field goal, maybe even to win it. We'll see after this 2-point conversion. But he's a guy that wasn't obviously didn't have the hype as a rookie quarterback, as they didn't get the 2-point conversion. So now all the Giants need is a field goal to win this game. But he's been showing up, and with 1 touchdown today, he's been playing pretty well. I don't think he doesn't have a turnover today. The only turnover came from Saquon Barkley. Looked like he didn't get touched, but somehow was touched. Ball was loose, fell out. So very ugly, very from Saquon. But Tommy DeVito been showing up, been giving the Giants fans something to root for. So let's see if he can maybe get it done in this last minute 33.
Yeah, my shout of the week, we touched on it earlier. I'm going to go with the NBA. I'm a big NBA guy, and to me, to see people care about NBA basketball in the light that it was this early in the year is pretty cool. I thought it was executed perfectly, other than the fact that I would like to – can we get rid of the neutral site thing? I thought the whole, darkening the crowd thing was pretty awkward. I don't know. It would have been really cool to see him in a home game in that – I think that environment would be a little cooler. I get it. That's what they do in the other leagues and soccer leagues that do this kind of shit too. But I don't know. I'd rather see a home environment. That's just my opinion. Yeah. But really cool stuff from the NBA. I really like seeing it. And I thought the whole group stage thing was cool too. The only gripe I have on that thing, and this is a little biased from the Sixers perspective, we didn't make it mainly because we played the Pacers on a back-to-back and they counted the second game. What are we doing? How does that happen? It should count the first game, not the second game. It's hard to beat a team 2 times in a row. I don't understand that at all. But whatever. I'm not going to get a sore loser. We'll move on. But yeah, shout out the NBA. Really cool stuff. And, I'd like to see maybe they make changes to it in the near future. The point differential thing was kind of weird too. To be the tiebreaker, maybe it should go by overall record. That way, we see some different teams in there. But yeah, who knows? I don't know. But yeah, really cool stuff. Great to see the NBA with great heated battles and competition. And maybe if this goes on for another few more years, maybe it gets to the point where we can talk about players taking it even more seriously and make it a bragging rights type of thing in the near future. So yeah, that's my thing.
All right. That is it for Rivals every Monday, 10:30. As always, thank you to everybody commenting, liking, subscribing. Keep tuning in. Keep showing up. As always, Gleason's Bar is located at 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, Pennsylvania. Use promo code ATD for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online. That's Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com. As always, thank you to everybody commenting, tuning in, liking, subscribing. Keep commenting, keep tuning in. We love the support, love the interaction. So thank you to everybody, and let's go G-Men. Let's see if they can get this done.